Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today's card features the brand new Celebration Balloons stamps and coordinating dies, as well as the new Cat's Meow stamp set and coordinating dies, and the new Framed Tags Chelsea dies. So lots of brand new for May, and I've got this cute little Hooray card, perfect for all kinds of celebrations. I laid out the images, the stamps, and dies I wanted to use first, kind of make sure everything was going to fit like I thought. Then I'm going to take the large scalloped rectangle from the Framed Tags Chelsea and the little window openings die and die cut those from some Bristol Smooth cardstock. And I went ahead and die cut those together. Sorry for the shaking, that's where I was die cutting. I forgot to pause the video there. Then I'm going to bring these back, and around the stitched border of this frame, it's got some fantastic detail with a stitched line and then some little dots in the scallop, plus all of these stitched lines around the window openings. What I'm going to do is take some Post-it tape and mask off all four edges here. So from the stitch line out, I'm going to mask off the edges so that I can ink up the background, but still give the look of being framed up with that white scallop border, plus the white around the window frame. So quite a bit of masking here with my Post-it tape. This is a great way to get dimension without adding extra layers. For the windows, I'm going to have to get kind of creative, with my Post-it tape. Keep it within the confines of that stitched line. Go ahead and put this little piece up here and finish with my left side. Once I have that, I'm going to take two colors of distress ink and ink up the background. And I love Blueprint Sketch and Shaded Lilac together for a really pretty background. So I'm going to keep the color darker up near the top. This is where the masking comes in handy because I want to keep that ink off of the edges. But if you see in the upper right corner, I didn't get all of the scallop masked off and I inked it up. And I didn't realize it until I had already done all of the work of inking up this panel. So I'm going to show you how I fixed it instead of redoing it here in just a little bit. Down near the bottom, I'm going to blend in that Shaded Lilac into the Blueprint Sketch, blending those two colors together really nicely here. And then spritz this whole thing with water from a distress sprayer and blot it dry with a paper towel. This is just going to kind of soften and distress that background just a little bit. Now right now it's really hard to see how cute the background's going to be with all this Post-it tape in the way. I even added a little bit more water in a couple places where I felt like it needed it. I can peel off my masking and reveal the white border all the way around, and in the center here a little bit of ink spread underneath one of those little pieces as well. And all you have to do is take a paper towel and wet a corner of it just a little bit, and you can wipe that off before the ink dries. You want to make sure you work pretty quickly, but you can see that the majority of that ink just removed from those two little spots, and I didn't have to redo anything, which is fantastic. Next, I'm going to take some Nina Smooth White cardstock, and I am going to ink up the Cat's Meow images and that awesome Hooray Celebration Balloons image. Stamp those with a black ink for copic coloring on this Nina Smooth White cardstock. I like to use the Misty just so that I can stamp lots of images all at once. And if they need to be stamped again, which most of these did, especially because it was the first time they'd ever been stamped, I can stamp those right on top of the first image really easily, and then go about coloring them in with some copic markers. Now for the balloons, I wanted to kind of follow the same color combination as the background. So I chose some blue-violet colors, which definitely will coordinate great. Blue-violet 13, I did try to go with a darker one and I did not like that at all. So I kept with blue violet 13, 02, and 0000. And I'm going to have to work pretty hard, I guess you want to say, to get that lightest color blended in so that it looks like a nice seamless transition without letting those colors bleed outside the line, which they definitely can because the lightest color here has a lot of colorless blender in it. So I'll color all of these up. Now, a lot of times I do try to color all of my images and then die cut them all at once, but I was so anxious to see how these balloons would work with my frame that I went ahead and die cut the balloons before I go back and do any of those cute The Cat's Meow Kittens or images. I'm going to go over all these balloon letters with the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to give them a little bit of glitz and glimmer. Then I'm going to kind of just lay it here along the bottom edge of the window openings, take one of those smaller phrases from the Celebration Balloons stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on my background using black ink again. And I got to remove all of my other stamps that I use so that I don't accidentally get any of those on my card-based background. Stamp the So Excited For You right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my balloon strings from the Celebration Balloons stamp set using second generation stamping with the Blueprint Sketch Distress ink. I wanted it to still be fairly light but still show up, and so second generation stamping is going to be a great solution for this, and I didn't get that stamped very good so I had to stamp it again. And I've masked off the phrase with just a little strip of Post-it tape. That way none of the balloon strings go through the greeting. And it kind of still appears like the little phrase there is in front of all of the balloon strings. I didn't want any of those balloon strings to take away from the sentiment of the card. I'm using both styles of balloon strings from this stamp set. Then I'm going to take some little glue dots along the bottom edge of all of the Celebration Balloon letters and attach that right there underneath the window opening, lining up the bottom of the balloons with the balloon strings. I can remove my mask, and there is kind of my card base all ready to go. I'm going to color in the cats now with some Copic markers. Different color combination for each. This one's kind of my little orange tabby with E31, 35, and E99. R20 is used for the insides of the ears and the noses on all 4 kittens. Next, I'm going to do a little black and white spotted kitten with some warm gray markers. The white of the kitten is actually not white. It's a very, very light warm gray 01, or warm gray 1 and 00. Again, R20 for the insides of the ears and the nose. I'm going to take those same warm grays and do like a solid grayish black kitty. Outlined them in dark, kind of going in with my mid-tone color, and then go in with my lightest color to blend that all out. I don't want to go too dark here because I still want to see the cute detail on this kitten's face. For my last kitten, I will do some shades of brown with E40, 43, and 44. And then I'll do a little dot detail on this kitten with my 2 darker colors just to give him some fun texture. And R20 for the insides of the ears and the tip of the nose, or the little nose. The little meow sign, again, is going to be colored in those same blue-violet shades that I used for the balloon letters. And the little stake that the sign is on is stamped, or colored rather, with some browns, E44 and E43. The little sign can be customized and it's from the Cat's Meow stamp set, and there's several little phrases that you can use or little images you could stamp on it, lots of different ways to do that. Once these are colored, I'm going to die cut them with the coordinating the Cat's Meow dies, and I'm going to lay everything out before I make my background and kind of figure out what I want to do there. And all I did was take another piece of cardstock. This is just some Nina smooth cardstock, inked it up with the Blueprint Sketch Distress ink, and you can tell the difference of how the inks look from Bristol smooth cardstock, which is the frame here, to Nina's smooth white cardstock. It just doesn't blend the same, and it's much, much darker, I think, on this because of it. And I'm going to use that to frame up or right back behind the window opening, and then I can tuck my kittens and accessories all inside each of these frames, kind of do something a little different with each of them just for fun. One of them is going to have a little sign sticking up, and I definitely felt like they needed a few extra things at this point. So this is where you can go in, grab any of those extra accessory images, stamp those, color them in real quick. These are very quick colors simply because they're very small images, but they're fantastic for really building the scene. So the balloon is in those same blue-violet colors, the little flowers are in the blue-violet colors, and the mouse is in some of the warm gray colors. Once I have all of these colored in, I will take the coordinating dies and die cut these as well. Now, the balloon is a good example of I didn't let the colors dry enough in between blending, and so some of it, the blue-violet color, bled outside the line, and I'm just pushing it back in with my colorless blender. Cutting all my dies apart with some wire snip scissors, tape those in place, and then die cut these, and I can tuck those around the frame as well inside each of those little window openings and really kind of finish off the scene and make it shine. So I've got a little balloon there in the one kitten's hand, a little mouse sitting on the windowsill, and some flowers tucked in the bottom. So that gives each little window opening a little something extra. I'm using glue dots to attach all of these. They're nice and small and work fantastic. Glossy accents, or pardon me, Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen over the balloon. And then I'm adding some enamel dots with Nuvo crystal drops in 3 shades. I've got Purple Rain, Gray Mist, and I have Silver Lining. Adding black detail to the eyes on all of the cats and the mouse to really make the eyes pop. I've attached the panel to a white top fold card base. And to finish, I'm going to take some glossy accents and go over all of the balloons. So the balloon letters from the Celebration Balloons stamp set, and the little balloon that the kitten's holding, and that's going to give them a nice glossy raised appearance, plus they'll be glittery underneath. Thanks for joining me today for this card featuring the Celebration Balloons stamps and coordinating dies from Mama Elephant. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.